Hey, Michael Cross here. I'm also known to some people as Secret Fawful or Fawful Has Fury. And I'm doing a Let's Play video, and this is my first one. And basically, you know, for anybody who doesn't know what a Let's Play video is, it's kind of like commentary. You play through a game, you know, and you just make comments throughout, you know, usually for the sake of comedy, you know, just to rip into it, just have fun with it. And you know, it's kind of like playing with other people, you know, except you know they're not there. But that sounds like completely insane. But basically, you know, you the viewer are just gonna watch through it while I play it and while I make comments, you know, on my own brand of immature humor. And I hope it doesn't offend you too much. But you know, and so as I said, this is my first Let's Play video, and as you can see, I've picked out Ben Jordan, Paranormal Investigator, Case 1. This is my first Let's Play. I wanted to pick out a short game, something I could just sit back and, you know, just kind of, you know, just relax and enjoy. And these are actually a series of episodic sort of games. This is, you know, a series. They have there's about 7 or 8 cases, I forget how many. And this is the first one. I'm starting from the beginning, and you know, we got Ben Jordan here, introduce the main character, and he's kind of your everyman, your basic normal guy who decides he wants to become a paranormal investigator and investigate strange occurrences all over the world. He kind of reminds me of the angry video game nerd, but without glasses, actually. And we got some spooky things going on in the background, set to some spooky, really cool kind of techno dance music. We got a witch flying over the moon, which is a reference to Case 3, which is about witches. And we got, you know, a ghost, New England style ghost or whatever, which is a reference to Case 4, which is, you know, about a ghost house. And we got a, you know, a zombie's hand rising out of the graves. Kind of cool, you know. I love zombies. And I don't know if anybody who doesn't like zombies, but you know, that's I forget what number of case that's a reference to, but there is a case that has to do with zombies. So got a lot of nice foreshadowing here for coming events. Now I will say that this game series is it's a lot like a series of B movies. You know, you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. But I'm definitely gonna say that all the ripping I'm going to do into this game is actually nothing personal against the guy who made it or anything. It's just for the sake of fun, sitting back and playing it. So, we got an intro here, and I could just start off and play without the intro, but that wouldn't really be fair. It doesn't set you into the story or anything. So I'm going to start with the intro, and I'm going to try to keep my comments to a minimum while we're watching the intro, because, you know, I don't want to. You know, it's kind of annoying. It's like when you're watching a movie with somebody and suddenly they start interrupting right in the middle of an important scene, and you're trying to hear it and you can't because they won't shut up. So I will try to keep my comments to a minimum, at least during the intro, but after that it's all fair game. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into this. Oh, one more thing before we start. I wanted to say that there is some graphic content in this game. There's some language, not a lot, but there's some, and there's definitely gore and some graphic violence. So if you're squeamish, I wouldn't really watch it. I mean, as you can see from it, you know, the graphics aren't exactly the most realistic. So I mean, it's not going to be as gross or as scary as it normally would be if it was like in 3D or something. You know, or like realistic 3D anyway, but still there are some gross scenes, you know. I mean, the very first, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but you know, if you think you can handle it, go ahead and watch it. And you know, if you are squeamish, I would turn it off now, just so you don't blow chunks all over your computer or something like that, or just totally crap in your pants from fear. So anyway, let's start with the intro here, and have fun.
So you'd like to hear about how I got into this mess? How a regular guy ended up half a world away, unconscious in the backseat of a car belonging to a guy he thought he could trust but turned out to be his worst enemy? But maybe I'm getting ahead of myself.
A little bit.
I should start from the very beginning.
Tell us your life story, Ben. You know you want to.
My name is Ben Jordan. I was just your average college graduate. 22 years old, with no direction in life and a degree that got me nowhere except a sales job with a local bullseye.
No, it's an Army of Darkness reference. Evil
As a
Dead.
kid, I was in love with monster movies and anything to do with the paranormal. My family thought it was just a waste of time, except for my grandfather. Grandpa Arthur used to tell me ghost stories and legends he had heard while
So I have to say,
in the 1920s.
that does not look like a little kid. Nothing like a little kid. It looks like a hobbit, like a human being who's just way too short.
I had to put my dreams aside and go to college to appease my parents.
That is an adult with growth problems right
I ended
there.
up studying international relations, which bored me to tears. So I passed the time by reading my books on the paranormal, listening to Pink Floyd, and dreaming of my ideal career. One day I was browsing the web and found a book called The Paranormal Investigator's Handbook by Professor Quincy Sanborn. I ordered it immediately and read it cover to cover the day it arrived. It was then that I decided I was going to become a paranormal investigator. So after graduating, I asked my parents to loan me some money.
He's kind of a compulsive buyer, isn't he?
I sat back waiting for the cases to come rolling in. Of course, at the time, I had no way of knowing that the path I'd chosen was going to change my life, in more ways than one.
Case 1, In Search of the Skunk Ape.
My first case started off with me receiving a phone call, but not one I was very happy about.
It's a phone call from the devil.
No, Mom, I told you, I've decided to become a freelance paranormal investigator.
Oh my gosh.
I know you think it sounds crazy, but just trust me on this one.
You mama's
I've seen enough
boy.
episodes of the X-Files to know that there's something else. Look, I have to go. I'll call you back in a few days. I don't understand.
I just don't understand women.
I posted about my services on those forums. I think
Wait,
someone would have called by
he
now.
posted about his services on forums? Isn't that kind of what a newspaper is for? Or maybe a TV ad? Even the Ghostbusters had like a TV ad.
I can't understand what you're saying. A skunk ape murdering people in the Florida Everglades?
I guess a TV ad wouldn't be all that realistic, but I mean, at least a newspaper ad. I mean,
okay, I'll see you soon.
I doubt anybody's gonna give out their phone number or address over the internet.
But I've got a case. Time to buy a ticket to Florida.
Wait a minute, he has enough money to buy a ticket to Florida, but not enough for an ad in the newspaper? Oh, never mind.
Are you Ranger Morales?
I'm afraid not, young man. I'm glad you've arrived, though.
What's the matter? Did something happen to him?
Come with me, and I'll show you.
Ugh.
Here he is.
There's that